What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Art Check. So last video I really got in depth into these trees here and I got a lot of work done, and now the next step is to try and bring out, well, not necessarily bring out, but just kind of finalize some of these background details over here. So to do that, let me zoom the camera in about there. Okay, so I kind of want to blur this line all the way back by these trees just to, I don't really want to have too much of a defining line to tell where that is. So that's kind of what I want to do. I'm going to grab an HB and just quickly darken in some of this tree that I have over here. I kind of left this one out. Alright, I just want to do something quick with it. I might go back into this later on just to kind of finalize the detail work of it, but for right now, I'm really not too worried about it. Alright, so I'm going to go back with a 2H pencil and just kind of start shading in back here. Now there's going to be a shadow underneath this tree, so I'm gonna kind of suggest that shadow that's going on, just kind of getting that in there and out of the way. Finish up some of this back here. It's always the edges of the drawing that I have trouble with kind of making it feel uniform with the rest of the drawing sometimes. Not sure what it is. Alright, so all this is pretty much a hill that's coming down. Now this actually is pretty much on flat ground. Bring down this tree a little bit more. Just like that. I'm going to try to modify the background just a little bit. Try to reshape it. I'm not sure how well it'll go. It's always those last minute fixes that will get you. I'm not sure if that really accomplished much, but basically I want this section here to be sort of its own thing and then kind of work its way up to the hill again. So what I'm going to do is grab an HB and make this whole area here just a tad bit darker, and then we'll kind of start working into this path that I have set out here. And I want to create like a rounded roundness to this part, because essentially this path is coming up, going in between these sets of trees, and then kind of going back through here somewhere. Still kind of working out some of the just general placement of different things, but it's all coming together pretty well. This is all going to be pretty heavily shadowed here because of all the trees, and so will this. Alright, so let's, I'm going to switch back to a 2H pencil and start to grab some of this back here. Alright, so we have to figure out where the sun is actually coming from. Now over here I have a pretty high noon shadow going on over there. And let's kind of follow what I have going on here and just kind of bring these shadows kind of going over this way. And this is just kind of one way to show you how to do it. So we can have one big shadow going on over here, something like that. That's going to be similar with this one. And this is going to help to illuminate these areas, make it look like the sun is really hitting that grass over there. Alright, so of course I still have this line in that tree there. And I still haven't decided yet if I want to add in some more trees. Oh, let me not draw off camera again. Let me zoom back out just a little bit. Hopefully I didn't miss too much there. I'll just do a quick recap. I used a HB and decided that this was my direction of shadow. So this is the tree trunk right here, and this is all the leaves in a collective bunch, just kind of suggesting where that shadow might be. And I did the same thing with this one. I think I may have caught most of that on camera, but just to make sure. And what I was talking about is these, I started some trees right here. I'm not sure if I want to continue those because I think it might get a little bit too busy over here. The general focus of this drawing is right in here. This is the money shot right here. So directing attention over here won't really do much for the overall drawing. So I'm not sure if I'm going to leave those in or just kind of do away with them. I'm kind of leaning towards just kind of getting rid of them, which won't take me much to do. I mean, literally all I gotta do is just take the eraser to them just a little bit. So I think I'm going to take these out. So it's just some more last minute editing ideas to go for here. Alright, so just kind of get rid of those. I'm still using a 2H pencil. And just kind of fill in those areas that I took out. Just want to kind of darken in some of these trunks here. So actually most of this front side of the trunk is going to be heavily shaded here. But this is just to help make it stand out a bit more. Just like that. But this is mostly just finalized details kind of things going on. I mean, you can get really carried away just going in back to those trees and adding in details here and there. So let's try not to get too carried away. I'm just going to add in a light shading. So this is all going to be kind of hilly back here. I'm going to kind of sculpt this area a little bit. Grab a big eraser. Oh. Losing. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to grab this eraser. And I kind of want to, instead of having a nice straight tree line, I just kind of want to get some variation going a little bit here. Get some hills going or something. You know, not big hills, but just a slight hill. Something like that. You can kind of change things up quickly like that. And just like that, it kind of looks like you have a little bit of a hill going back there, which will kind of bring the eye kind of softly down this and bring it right back in. So directing the eye in a drawing will help quite a bit. it'll really help to give you a focused, centralized area for someone to look at. Alright, so I'm just kind of filling areas in. And now I want to get into the blending stump a little bit. So let me focus the image a bit. And I don't want to blend completely. I just kind of want to smooth some things out here. Now I kind of lost this hill a little bit, so just taking the eraser will help there. Try not to use your hands so much with cleaning the eraser shavings off. Alright. Then you can kind of smooth things over a little bit. Basically what I want to try and do is create the effect that the sun is striking the ground back here. That's the effect I'm going for. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't do anything to this large tree yet, because it would have been problematic very quickly. And then taking a blending stump, just kind of lightly going over those areas again. And I'm kind of starting to achieve that effect that I'm going for, so that's good. Just kind of go over these areas a bit. I think back here, I gotta start bringing this hill down a bit. Something like that. So something like that is what I'm looking for, just to kind of lighten up an area to make nice contrast. And I want to do that a little bit over here as well, and then use the blending stump and just kind of soften the edges, just something like that. All these little things really help to overall bring your image together. Alright, so I'm going to smooth out some of these darker areas a little bit. Now a lot of these areas down in here, I'm going to grab an HB. A lot of these we can put a nice heavy shadow on, really make them stand out. Really make that contrast to help them pop out more. Just something like that. Alright, and then all this in here is going to be the same deal. Just like that. So you can sort of see how through the videos that I've progressed, every one of them kind of adds collectively to the whole. Except for when I really work on the trees, it's kind of working everything individually and collectively at the same time. So as you work on the background, you can work on the foreground a little bit, and just kind of creating that equilibrium. Big words. Between everything, just to kind of help to establish the drawing and make it really pop in the end. So that's really what I'm trying to do. So the last thing I want to try and do is get this tree going a little bit. Ooh, way too much there. Alright, right about there. Alright, so I'm going to try and get this tree going. I'm not going to add in too much detail, but more of just shading in general. This tree has quite a lot of branches. That's what I'm going to be doing with it. And see, now we lost a lot of the detail that I had going way out here, and this is the time to really pick that back out again, because the sky is all done, all these trees are done, so I can literally take these lines and cover up that tree, no problem, because all these trees are finalized, so I don't have to worry about going back into them and fixing anything. At least that's my hope. There's always the off chance that you can go back in and fix something. So this tree I also think is going to end up being pretty dark. But I think I would like to get a lot of the leaves done and out of the way before I start getting too dark with it. Now, if you notice with my branches, I'm very wiggly with that pencil. It really helps to create those branches, makes them really gives them that characteristic. Brings them to life. So I also want to try and get some modeling going in this tree. Kind of create a bit of a lighter side over here. Now, but most of this tree is on the opposite side of the sunlight, so a lot of it's going to, from what we are seeing, is going to be in shadow. Except for the very, very edge of it. I can work on this branch a little bit. And then I have a whole bunch of gnarly branches right here. Something like that. A couple of them coming off right here. Got another branch coming up right here. Lots of branches on this tree. There's also going to be little branches here and there that kind of stem up off of it. This tree is going to have a lot of leaves all up in the trunk and things like that, so a lot of it's going to be covered up. But that I will probably leave for the next video. In this video I just want to kind of finish up this tree overall. But as far as what's left, it's mainly just finishing up this tree and finalizing a lot of the other details that are going on in this. So it's really getting there. All the objects are in place. It's just a matter of adding in those details, those polishing details, rather. So, but usually my philosophy on drawing is, as soon as I get the general placement and I'm happy with everything, with where they are, that for me is 90% of the hard work. Then detailing and adding in the shading, I mean, don't get me wrong, that presents its challenges as well, but that's the enjoyable part for me. So the difficult part is always just making sure everything is in its right place. The composition, the what's that other word? The vanishing points and things like that. You want to make sure that those are all good. Yeah, all the hard parts are out of the way before you get into the fun stuff. Alright everyone, so I'm going to leave you off with this. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Alright, so I want to thank you all very much for joining me again, and I hope that you enjoy the drawing. And I really hope that everyone that's drawing along with me, that yours is coming along very well. And feel free to share with me on Facebook your updates if you want to, and I will see you all later. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.